The emergency signal crackled through deep space. A dying voice whispered into the void. "This is Captain Zector. They killed everyone. The humans. They never stop." The signal went dead. Silence filled the darkness. Far away, in the grand hall of the Krillian Empire, the council gathered. They were the strongest race in the galaxy. They had conquered 50 star systems. No one could stop them. Their ships were massive. Their weapons were deadly. They feared nothing. Commander Vexlar stood before the council. He was tall and proud. His armor shined under the lights. "We need more resources," he said. "The human systems have what we need. We should take it." An old council member raised his hand. "But, Commander, there are warnings at their border. Ancient beacons that say to stay away." Vexlar laughed. "Warnings? From humans? Those weak creatures." The whole council laughed with him. They had heard stories about humans. Small beings from a water planet. They seemed harmless. The council voted. They would send 300 warships. They would cross into human space. They would take what they wanted. It was decided. As the fleet prepared to launch, an old alien trader came to the station. His species had been in space for thousands of years. He had seen many things. He found Vexlar in the command center. "Commander, please listen," the old trader begged. "I have seen what happens to those who enter human territory. Turn back. The warnings are real." Vexlar pushed him away. "Your fear makes you weak, old one. The Krillian Empire fears nothing." The fleet launched into space. 300 ships moving as one. They flew toward the human border. Days passed. They reached the edge of human space. There it was, the warning beacon. It floated in the darkness, red lights blinking. The message played on repeat. "Do not cross. Human territory. Deadly force authorized. You have been warned." Vexlar smiled in his command chair. "Forward," he ordered. The fleet crossed the line. For a moment, nothing happened. Space was quiet. Empty. Dark. Then the radar screen lit up. One single contact. A small human ship appeared in front of them. Just one tiny vessel against 300 warships. Vexlar laughed again. "Is this their defense? One ship?" The human ship sent a message. Only 3 words. "Last chance. Leave." Vexlar's smile grew wider. "All ships, power weapons. Destroy that ship." The fleet aimed their guns at the lone human vessel. But then something happened. Something that would change everything. The small ship began to glow. Bright. Brighter. Too bright. Vexlar stopped smiling. His eyes went wide. "Sir, energy readings are off the scale," his officer shouted. "That's not a ship, it's a—" The screen exploded with light. What they didn't know was simple. That wasn't a ship. It was bait, and they had just walked into the trap. The small human vessel exploded, but it was not destroyed. It was a signal, a beacon, a call to war. Suddenly, space around the Krillian fleet came alive. Hundreds of points appeared on the radar. Ships, massive human warships. They had been hiding, waiting, watching. The humans had been there the whole time. Invisible, silent, patient. "Sir, we're surrounded," the radar officer screamed. His hands shook on the controls. 200 human ships. All around us. How do we not see them? Vexlar jumped from his chair. His face went pale. Impossible. Our sensors would have detected them. But they had not. Human technology was better. Much better. They had cloaking systems the Krillians had never seen before. A human voice came through the communication system. It was calm, cold, deadly. "This is Admiral Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet. You were warned. You crossed our border. You ignored our message. Now you face the consequences." Vexlar grabbed the communication device. "We are the Krillian Empire. We have 300 ships. You cannot defeat us." Admiral Chen's reply was simple. "Watch." The human ships opened fire. Their weapons cut through space like knives through paper. Blue energy beams struck the Krillian vessels. Shields that had protected them for years meant nothing. The human weapons went straight through. The first 10 Krillian ships exploded, then 20 more, then 30. In just 2 minutes, 50 ships were gone. 50 ships full of soldiers, families, dreams, all gone. Return fire, return fire. Vexlar shouted. His voice cracked with fear. The Krillian fleet fired back. Thousands of weapons. But the human ships moved too fast. They dodged. They weaved. They danced through space like it was easy. More Krillian ships fell. Explosions lit up the darkness. Screams filled the communication channels. Captains begged for mercy. Soldiers cried for help. But the humans did not stop. On one of the damaged ships, a young Krillian soldier named Rax held a station. He was only 20 cycles old. This was his first mission. He thought it would be glorious. He thought they would win easily. Now he watched his friends die. Ships exploded around him. He looked at his commander. "Sir, why did we come here?" The warnings were real. We should have listened. His commander had no answer. Fear filled his eyes too. Vexlar saw his fleet falling apart. 100 ships were gone now. 100 in less than 10 minutes. All ships retreat. Retreat now, he ordered. The remaining ships tried to run. They turned away from the humans. Engines pushed to maximum power. But the human ships were faster. Much faster. They chased the Krillians like wolves chasing sheep. They did not let them escape. They picked them off one by one. Some they destroyed. But others, they did something worse. They disabled them, shot out their engines, left them floating, helpless. "Sir, they're boarding the disabled ships," an officer reported. "Taking prisoners." Vexlar felt ice in his blood. Taking prisoners? Why? No one answered. But everyone knew. Being captured by humans was worse than death. Everyone had heard the stories. The humans never forgot. Never forgave. Invaders faced justice. Human justice. A loud bang echoed through Vexlar's ship. Then another. Something was cutting through the hull. "They're here! Human soldiers are boarding us!" A guard shouted. Vexlar drew his weapon. His hands shook. He had fought in 20 battles. Won them all. But now, for the first time in his life, he felt true fear. The door to the command center exploded inward. Smoke filled the room. Through the smoke came figures. Human soldiers in black armor. They moved like shadows. Fast, precise, deadly. One soldier stepped forward. He looked at Vexlar. His voice came through his helmet speaker. "Commander Vexlar, you are under arrest for invasion of human territory. Drop your weapon." Vexlar looked at his gun, then at the humans. There were 6 of them. All weapons pointed at him. His crew was already on their knees. Surrendered. He dropped his weapon. It clattered on the floor. The human soldier walked closer. "You were warned. Now you pay the price. You're coming with us." "Where?" Vexlar asked. His voice was barely a whisper. The human tilted his head. "To a place where all invaders go. A place where you'll learn why you should never cross into human space." 2 soldiers grabbed Vexlar, put restraints on his wrists, led him away from his ship, away from his command, away from everything he knew. Behind him, the battle was over. Of 300 Krillian ships, only 20 escaped. 200 were destroyed. 80 were captured. Thousands dead. Thousands more now prisoners. As Vexlar was taken to a human transport ship, he looked back. His fleet was gone. Burning debris floated in space. This was supposed to be an easy victory. It was a massacre. The human transport ship doors closed. Darkness surrounded him. The horror was just beginning, because where the humans were taking them was worse than any battle. It was a place built specifically for invaders. A place called the Warning. And no one who went there ever forgot it. Vexlar woke up in a cold metal cell. His head hurt. His pride hurt more. He stood up slowly and looked around. Gray walls. A small bed. One window showing endless space outside. The door opened. Human guards in black uniforms stood there. "Come with us," one said. They were not rough, not cruel, but their eyes were hard, cold. They led him through long corridors. Other Krillian prisoners walked past him, their heads down, their spirits broken. These were his soldiers, his warriors. Now they looked like ghosts. They brought him to a large room. Hundreds of aliens sat there, but they were not Krillian. They were different species. All of them looked defeated, tired, hopeless. An old alien with blue skin approached Vexlar. His species was called the Vexori. "You're new here," the old one said. "Let me guess. You invaded human space, ignored the warnings." Vexlar nodded slowly. "How did you know?" The old alien laughed. It was a sad sound, because we all did. Every being in this room made the same mistake. We thought humans were weak. We were wrong. "How long have you been here?" Vexlar asked. 12 years, the old one replied. "I was captain of a war fleet. We attacked a human colony, killed their people. We thought it would be easy." He paused, looked at the floor. "The humans came for us 3 days later, destroyed our entire fleet in 1 hour, brought us here." Vexlar felt his legs go weak. 12 years. The old alien had been a prisoner for 12 years. Another alien spoke up. She was tall with green scales. "I've been here 8 years. My people thought humans were primitive. We stole from their trade ships. The humans hunted us across 5 star systems. They never gave up, never stopped. They caught every single one of us." More aliens shared their stories. All the same, they invaded, they attacked, they thought humans were easy targets. They were all wrong, all caught, all here. Young soldier Rax sat in a corner of the room. He was crying. He had only wanted to serve his empire. Now he was a prisoner, far from home, far from his family. The old Vexori sat next to him, put a hand on his shoulder. "The hardest lesson, young one, is this: humans do not forget. They do not forgive invasion. Ever. Will we ever go home?" Rax asked through his tears. The old one looked away, did not answer. Suddenly, alarms blared through the station. Red lights flashed. All the prisoners stood up, fear on their faces. A human officer entered the room. Behind him walked a man in a white uniform with gold badges. Admiral Chun, the one who destroyed their fleet. The room went silent. Every alien stared at him, some with fear, some with hate, but all with respect. This human had beaten them all. Admiral Chun looked at Vexlar. "Commander, do you know where you are?" "A prison," Vexlar answered. "No," Chun said. "This is called the Warning. We built this station for one purpose: to teach invaders what happens when they cross into human territory." He walked to a large screen on the wall, pressed a button. Images appeared. Terrible images. Human history. Wars. Destruction. Millions dead. "This is World War I," Chin said. 40 million humans died. We fought each other. Another image. World War II. 80 million dead. Again, fighting ourselves. More images flashed. Vietnam. Korea. Iraq. Afghanistan. Centuries of human conflict. Humans killing humans. Over and over. Vexlar watched in horror. "Why show us this?" Chin turned to face him. His eyes were like ice. "Because you need to understand something. These wars, we fought them against ourselves. Our own species. And we survived. We learned. We became stronger." He stepped closer to Vexlar. "You invaded our space. Attacked our patrol ships. Killed 17 human soldiers. Those soldiers had families, children, parents who will never see them again." Vexlar felt shame wash over him. He had not thought about that. He had only thought about conquest, glory, resources. "You and your people will stay here," Chin continued. "You will work, repair the damage you caused, build new stations, help human colonies. For 50 years. 50 years. Vexlar gasped. "That's my entire life." "No," Chin said. "That's the price of invasion. Your ships killed 17 of ours. You're lucky we don't demand more." Rax stood up in the corner. "Please, sir. I'm just a soldier. I followed orders. I didn't want to hurt anyone." Chin looked at the young Krillian. His expression softened slightly. Then you will learn. You will work. You will understand. And maybe in 50 years, you can go home and tell your people never to make this mistake again. Vexlar found his voice. Our empire will come for us. They will send more ships. Bigger fleets. They will rescue us. Admiral Chin smiled. It was not a warm smile. Let them try. He turned to leave, then stopped at the door. Commander, I should tell you something. Your empire is already preparing. Long-range sensors detected their main fleet. 2,000 ships. Your emperor is sending everything he has. Vexlar's heart jumped. Hope filled him. 2,000 ships. The humans only had a few hundred. His empire would win, would rescue them. But Chen's next words crushed that hope. They'll be here in 3 days. We're ready for them. He paused. Your emperor is making the same mistake you did. He thinks numbers matter. He thinks he can win. The admiral walked out. The door closed behind him. The old Vexori shook his head. Your empire is doomed. The humans have been preparing for this. They knew more would come. They always know. Vexlar sat down hard on a bench. His mind raced. 2,000 ships against a few hundred humans. It should be an easy victory. But something in Chen's voice, something in his confidence, it made Vexlar afraid, very afraid. On the Krillian homeworld, Emperor Zarkuan sat on his throne. His face was red with anger. His fists clenched tight. They destroyed our fleet, captured my best commander, took my soldiers prisoner. His council stood before him, all silent, all afraid to speak. The Emperor's rage was legendary. No one wanted to be the target. Gather every ship, the Emperor ordered, every single vessel in the Empire. I want 2,000 warships. I want our best warriors. I want the Crimson Armada. One brave council member stepped forward. My lord, perhaps we should negotiate. The humans are stronger than we thought. The Emperor stood from his throne, walked down the steps, stood face to face with the council member. Negotiate with the species that humiliated us? Never. He turned to his guards. Send for General Kazdor. General Kazdor entered the throne room. He was the Emperor's brother. Tall, strong, covered in battle scars. He had won 50 battles. Lost none. He was the Empire's greatest warrior. Brother, the Emperor said, Commander Vexlar was your friend. The humans killed many of our people. Captured many more. I want you to lead our fleet. Destroy the humans. Bring our people home. Kazdor bowed. It will be done, my emperor. The humans will pay for what they did. 3 days later, the Krillian Armada gathered. 2,000 warships. The largest fleet ever assembled. Each ship was massive, powerful, ready for war. Kazdor stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Deathbringer. His officers surrounded him, all eager for battle, all ready for revenge. Set course for human territory, Kazdor commanded. Maximum speed. We will crush them. The fleet jumped into faster than light travel. Stars blurred past them. In their hearts, they believed victory was certain. 2,000 ships against a few hundred humans. The math was simple. Meanwhile, at the human border, Admiral Chin stood in the command center of Earth Defense Station Alpha. His officers worked at their stations. Calm, focused, ready. Admiral, long-range sensors confirm it. An officer reported. 2,000 Krillian ships. They'll be here in 1 hour. Chin nodded. How many ships do we have? 400, sir. All ready for combat. Another officer looked worried. Sir, they outnumber us 5 to 1. Should we call for reinforcements? Chin smiled slightly. No need. We have something better than numbers. He pressed a button on his command console. Activate the Mac grid. It's time they learn what happens when you really make humans angry. Deep in space, hidden among asteroids and debris, massive structures came to life. They had been there for years. Waiting. Secret. Invisible to enemy scanners. The Mac grid. Magnetic accelerator cannons. Orbital defense weapons built after the first Krillian attack. Each cannon was the size of a small moon. There were 50 of them, positioned around human space like silent guardians. Mac grid online and ready. Sir, the weapons officer reported. Chin nodded. Good. Now we wait. The Krillian fleet dropped out of faster than light travel at the human border. 2,000 massive ships. They formed battle lines. Weapons powered up. Shields at maximum. Kazdor looked at his display screen. He saw the human fleet. 400 ships. Small. Weak-looking. He laughed. Is this all they have? This will be easier than I thought. His second-in-command nodded. Sir, we can destroy them in minutes. Their numbers are too small. Then let's end this quickly, Kazdor said. All ships, attack formation. Move forward. The Krillian armada surged forward, like a wave of metal and death. Engines burning bright, weapons glowing. They were ready to crush the humans. But the human ships did not move. They stayed in position, waiting. Calm. Kazdor found this strange. Why don't they run? They must know they cannot win. His tactical officer studied the sensors. Sir, I'm detecting unusual energy readings. All around us. But I can't identify the source. Ignore it, Kazdor ordered. Focus on the enemy fleet. All ships open fire. 2,000 Krillian ships fired at once. The space between the fleets lit up with weapon fire. Missiles, energy beams, plasma bolts, all heading toward the human ships. But the human ships moved. Fast. Incredibly fast. They dodged most of the incoming fire. Their point defense systems destroyed the rest. Not a single human ship was hit. Kazdor's eyes widened. How? How are they so fast? The human fleet returned fire. Their weapons were different, more precise, more powerful. Each shot hit exactly where it was aimed. 20 Krillian ships exploded, then 30, then 50. Sir, we're taking heavy losses, his officer reported. Panic crept into his voice. We have 2,000 ships, Kazdor shouted. They have 400. Keep firing. We will overwhelm them. But that's when Admiral Chin made his move. He pressed another button on his console. All human ships fall back 10 kilometers. Now! The human fleet retreated, created distance. The Krillians thought they were running, started to chase. They're retreating, Kazdor said. After them. Don't let them escape. The Krillian fleet pushed forward, right into the killing zone. Admiral Chin spoke into his communication system. His voice was cold. Final. Activate MAC cannons. Fire at will. The 50 hidden MAC cannons powered up. Space around the Krillian fleet lit up like a sun. The cannons fired. Each MAC round was the size of a building, moving at incredible speed. Each round carried the force of a nuclear weapon, and there were 50 cannons, each firing multiple rounds. The first volley hit the Krillian fleet. 100 ships exploded instantly. Just gone. Vaporized. Kazdor watched in horror. What is that? Where did those weapons come from? Another volley fired. Another 100 ships destroyed. Then another. And another. The Krillian ships tried to scatter. Tried to run. But the MAC cannons tracked them. Targeted them. Destroyed them one by one. In just 10 minutes, 500 Krillian ships were gone. 500. And the cannons kept firing. Sir, we need to retreat, his officer begged. We're being slaughtered. But Kazdor's pride wouldn't let him. No, we are the Krillian Empire. We do not run. All ships charge forward. Get close to their fleet. The cannons won't fire if we're too close to their own ships. It was a desperate plan, but it was their only chance. The remaining 1,500 Krillian ships pushed forward, engines at maximum, racing toward the human fleet. MAC rounds exploded all around them. More ships died, but some made it through. They closed the distance, got within range of the human ships. The MAC cannon stopped firing. Too dangerous to shoot now. Might hit their own fleet. Kazdor smiled. Now we have them. Close range combat. Ship to ship. This is where we are strongest. But he was wrong. Because humans have been fighting ship to ship combat for centuries. They knew every trick, every tactic, every weakness. The human ships moved like dancers, weaving between the larger Krillian vessels. Their smaller size made them harder to hit. Their weapons targeted engines, weapon systems, command bridges, precise, deadly, efficient. Castor watched his fleet fall apart. The humans fought with skill he had never seen before. Every move calculated, every shot perfect. No wasted effort, no panic, just cold, professional warfare. Castor's flagship shook violently. Explosions echoed through the corridors. Smoke filled the bridge. Half his crew was dead. The other half was dying. "Sir, shields are down at 10%. His officers shouted over the alarms. Engines failing. Weapons offline. "We can't fight anymore." Through the view screen, Castor watched his fleet burn. Of 2,000 ships, only 300 remained. The rest were debris, floating metal, graves in space. The human ships circled them like sharks, not attacking now, just waiting, watching. Admiral Chen's voice came through the communication system. "General Castor, this is your last chance. Surrender now. Save your remaining crews. Or die here. Choose quickly." Castor looked around his bridge. His officers stared at him, some with hope, some with fear. They all wanted to live, but surrendering meant shame, dishonor, failure. He remembered his brother's last message, the one Vexlar sent before he was captured. "Brother, don't come for us. Save the Empire. The humans are too strong. Don't make our mistake." He hadn't listened. Now his fleet was destroyed. Thousands dead. And for what? Pride? Revenge? None of it mattered now. "Sir, incoming message from the Death's Edge," his communication officer said. "Captain Torvan is asking for orders. His ship is dying. His crew is dying. What should he tell them?" Castor closed his eyes, saw his brother's face, his soldiers, his people. They trusted him, followed him, and he led them to death. He opened his eyes, made his decision, the hardest decision of his life. All ships. He spoke into the fleet communication system. His voice was heavy, broken. "This is General Castor. I order you to stand down, power down all weapons, surrender to the human fleet." Silence filled the communication channel. No one could believe it. The great General Castor, the undefeated warrior, was surrendering. His second-in-command stared at him. "Sir, our ancestors will curse us. History will remember us as cowards." Castor turned to him. Tears ran down his face. The first tears he had shed in 30 years. "History will remember us as the fools who invaded human space. But our people will live. That's all that matters now." He opened a direct channel to Admiral Chen. "I surrender. Take us prisoner. But please, spare my remaining crews. They only follow my orders." There was a pause. Then Chen responded. "Acceptable. All Krillian ships will be boarded. Crews will be taken into custody. Any ship that resists will be destroyed. Comply and you live. Fight and you die." One by one, the remaining Krillian ships powered down. Human boarding teams moved in, secured each vessel, took the crews prisoner. Castor stood in his command chair as human marines entered his bridge. They moved with precision, weapons ready. But they didn't shoot, didn't hurt anyone. The lead marine approached. "General Castor, please come with us." Castor removed his rank insignia, his medals, his symbols of honor, placed them on his chair. He was no longer a general, no longer a warrior, just a prisoner. They took him to a transport ship. Inside, he saw other Krillian captains, officers, soldiers, all defeated, all broken. Young Captain Torvan sat in the corner. He was only 25 years old. This was his first command. His ship was destroyed. Half his crew was dead. He looked at Castor with empty eyes. "Why, General? Why did we come here?" Castor had no answer, just sat down, put his head in his hands. The transport ship flew toward the warning station, where Vexlar and the others waited, where Castor would spend the next 50 years. if he lived that long. Far away, on the Krillian homeworld, Emperor Zarkuin paced in his throne room. It had been 8 hours since the battle started. No word from his brother. No updates. Just silence. Finally, a messenger ran into the room. His face was pale. His hands shook. "My Emperor, we received a transmission from the human admiral." "Play it." The Emperor ordered. A hologram appeared. Admiral Chin stood there. Behind him, the view of space. Burning Krillian ships everywhere. The Emperor's heart sank. "Emperor Zarkuin," Chin began, "your fleet has been defeated. Of 2,000 ships, we destroyed 1,700. We captured 300. Your brother, General Castor, has surrendered. He and his people are now our prisoners." The Emperor felt his legs go weak. 1,700 ships. Gone. His brother. Captured. His empire's entire military force. Destroyed. Chun continued, "Your homeworld is now defenseless. We know this. Our fleet could reach your planet in 2 days. We could destroy your cities, conquer your people, end your empire." The Emperor's council members gasped. Some fell to their knees. The empire was finished. But then Chin said something unexpected. "However, we will not do that. We're not conquerors. We're defenders. You attacked us. We defended ourselves. Now we're coming to your homeworld, not to destroy you, but to talk, to make a deal, to ensure this never happens again." The hologram ended. The room fell silent. One council member spoke quietly. "My lord, what do we do?" The Emperor sat on his throne. For the first time in his life, he felt small, weak, afraid. His empire had been the strongest in the galaxy. Now it was nothing. "We wait," he said. "We wait for the humans to arrive, and we pray they're merciful." 3 days later, a human fleet arrived at the Krillian homeworld. Not a war fleet, a diplomatic fleet. 20 ships, led by Admiral Chun. The people of the homeworld watched from their cities, saw the human ships in their sky, expected death, expected destruction. But the ships just waited, peaceful, silent. Admiral Chin landed in the capital city, walked into the palace, stood before the Emperor. 2 guards stood beside him. That was all. No army, no weapons, just 3 humans in a palace full of aliens. The Emperor looked at the human admiral, this small being who destroyed his empire. "Have you come to gloat? To watch me beg?" Chin shook his head. "No, your majesty. I came to offer you a choice. War or peace, destruction or survival. The decision is yours." He placed a datapad on the table. "This is our proposal. Read it. Discuss it with your council. Take your time. But understand this. These terms are fair. More fair than you deserve after invading us twice." The Emperor picked up the datapad. "Read the terms." His eyes widened. He expected impossible demands. Crushing punishment. Slavery. But what he read was different. Hard but fair. Strict but survivable. "Why?" he asked. "Why offer us this? We tried to kill you. Twice." Admiral Chin looked him in the eyes. "Because holding grudges is easy. Building peace is hard. We choose a hard path. Because in the end, it's the better path." Emperor Zarkuin read the treaty terms aloud to his council. His voice was quiet, defeated, but also relieved. First, the Krillian Empire must immediately free all conquered worlds. 50 star systems will be given independence. Second, we must pay for damages. Not in one payment, but over 100 years. They're not trying to crush us economically. He continued reading. Third, we must allow human observers in our military to ensure we never invade anyone again. Fourth, all prisoners will be returned after 5 years of service, not 50, if they work hard and show they learned their lesson. The council members looked at each other. These terms were harsh, but fair, much more fair than they expected. And finally, the Emperor read, humans will protect us from other hostile species. They will share some basic technology, help us rebuild, teach us better ways. Admiral Chin stood silent, waiting, letting the words sink in. One council member stood. Why show us mercy? We tried to destroy you. We killed your people. Chen looked at him. Because we know what it's like to be wrong. Humans have made terrible mistakes in our history. We've hurt each other, destroyed our own cities, killed our own people. We learned from those mistakes. Now we help others learn too. He walked to the window, looked out at the Krillian city. Millions of people living their lives. Those people out there didn't attack us. Your soldiers did. Your commanders did. Should innocent families pay for the mistakes of their leaders? The Emperor felt shame wash over him. Chun was right. His pride, his anger, his desire for revenge. It led to this. Thousands dead. The Empire broken. And for what? We accept your terms, the Emperor said. All of them. Chin nodded. Good. Then let's begin. He pulled out another data pad. We've already started freeing the conquered worlds. Your prisoners are being processed. Those who show genuine remorse will be returned home sooner. Those who still want war will stay longer. Over the next 5 years, everything changed. The 50 conquered systems became free. They were angry at first, wanted revenge on the Krillians, but the humans stopped them. Peace means peace, Chin said. No revenge. No more bloodshed. That cycle ends now. The prisoners worked on human stations, repaired damaged ships, built new colonies. At first, they hated it, but slowly they learned. They saw how humans lived, how they worked together, how they valued life. Young soldier Rax worked on a human agricultural station. He grew food for human and alien families. One day, a human child gave him a flower. Thank you for helping us, the child said. Rax cried. It was the first kindness he'd received in years. Commander Vexlar worked in a human shipyard, built new vessels. One day, Admiral Chin visited him. You've worked hard, Commander, shown real change. In 1 year, you go home. Vexlar looked at him. Admiral, I need to know. Why didn't you just kill us all? It would have been easier. Chun smiled. Because killing is always easier than forgiving. Destroying is easier than building. Hate is easier than understanding. We choose the harder path because it's the right path. General Castor met his brother in the prison station. They hugged. Both cried. I should have listened to you, Castor said. You warned me. I didn't listen. Vexlar put a hand on his brother's shoulder. Now we both know. Now we both understand. And when we go home, we'll make sure our people never forget this lesson. 5 years passed. The prisoners were released. They returned home changed. No longer arrogant. No longer believing in conquest. They had learned. Really learned. Vexlar became an ambassador. Traveled to other worlds. Told his story. We thought humans were weak. We were fools. They're the strongest species in the galaxy. Not because of their weapons. Because of their values. Rax became a teacher. Taught young Krillians about peace. About respect. About the cost of war. His students listened. Learned. Promised never to make the same mistakes. Castor retired from military service. Wrote a book, The Warning We Ignored. It became required reading in every Krillian school. Every child learned what happened when you invade human space. 50 years later, Emperor Zarkuan was old, dying. He called Admiral Chun to his bedside. Chun was old too now. Gray hair, tired eyes, but still strong. Admiral, the Emperor whispered, thank you for not destroying us, for teaching us. My empire is smaller now, but better, peaceful, free. Chun held the old Emperor's hand. You learned your lesson. That's all we wanted. Not revenge, not domination, just peace. The Emperor died that night. His son became the new Emperor. The first thing he did was renew the treaty with humanity. Our friendship with Earth is our greatest treasure, he announced. In space at the human border, the warning beacon still blinked. Do not cross. Human territory. Deadly force authorized. A new alien species, the Zorthan, approached the border. Their captains studied the warnings. Should we ignore it, sir? We're stronger than those Krillians were. The first officer shook his head. Captain, I've studied the Krillian War. They thought the same thing. They sent 300 ships, then 2,000 ships. The humans destroyed them all. The captain thought for a moment, then ordered, set course around human space. We're not making that mistake. His crew agreed. Every one of them had heard the stories about the Krillian Empire, about how they ignored the warning, about how they paid the price. Word spread across the galaxy. Stay away from human territory. Respect the warnings. Trade with them. Talk with them. Be friends with them. But never, ever invade. Admiral Chun, now retired, sat on Earth, looked at the stars. He thought about Vexlar, Castor, Rax, all the aliens they captured, all the ones they taught, all the ones who learned. His granddaughter sat beside him. Grandpa, did you really fight in the Krillian War? He nodded. I did. Were you scared? He smiled. Yes, very scared. War's always scary. But you won. We did. But winning isn't about destroying your enemy. It's about making them understand why fighting was wrong in the first place. She thought about that. Did they understand? Yes, Chin said. They did. And they taught others. And those others taught more. Now the whole galaxy knows. Leave humans alone. Respect the warnings. Choose peace. The stars twinkled above them. Peaceful. Quiet. Beautiful. Somewhere out there, another species found the border warnings. Read them. Remembered the Krillian story. Turned away. The warnings worked. Not because of threats. Not because of fear. But because the Krillians learned their lesson. And they shared it. And the galaxy listened. In the Krillian capital, a statue stood. It showed Vexlar, Castor, and Rax standing together. The inscription read, They ignored the warning. We paid the price. Never again. Young Krillians visited the statue every day, learned the history, understood the lesson, promised to remember, and they did remember. For generations, for centuries, the story passed down, parent to child, teacher to student, leader to citizen. 20 years after the peace treaty, something unexpected happened. Something that would change everything again. On a human colony called New Hope, children played in the streets. Human children and Krillian children. Together, laughing, friends. One human boy, Marcus Chun, grandson of Admiral Chun, sat with his best friend, a young Krillian named Vexlar III, named after his grandfather, the famous commander. My grandpa says your grandpa tried to kill him, Marcus said. Young Vexlar nodded sadly. Yes, my grandpa made a terrible mistake, but your grandpa taught him better. Now our families are friends. Marcus smiled. Want to play Space Explorers? Yes. Vexlar jumped up excitedly. The two boys ran off together. Their teacher, an elderly human woman, watched them play. She remembered the war, remembered the fear, remembered when Krillians were enemies. Now they were neighbors, friends, family. But peace was about to be tested again. In deep space, a distress signal reached Earth Command. It came from the edge of known space, far beyond human or Krillian territory. This is the science vessel Horizon. The message said, we're under attack. Unknown species. They're destroying everything. Please, someone help us. The signal cut out. Admiral Rodriguez, who took over after Chin retired, stood in the command center. How many ships were on that vessel? 30 scientists, sir, an officer reported. 15 human, 15 Krillian. Joint research mission. Rodriguez felt his jaw tighten. Humans and Krillians working together. Now under attack. He pressed the communication button. Launch rescue fleet. Send 50 ships. But then something happened that surprised everyone. The Krillian ambassador contacted Earth Command. Admiral, we received the same distress call. The Krillian Empire is sending 50 ships to help rescue them. There are people too. Rodriguez paused. 20 years ago, Krillian ships approaching human space meant war. Now it meant cooperation. Ambassador, send us your fleet coordinates. We'll meet at the distress signal location. Together, understood, Admiral. Together, the human and Krillian rescue fleets launched. They met in space, just outside the danger zone. 100 ships, 50 human, 50 Krillian. Side by side, Admiral Rodriguez opened a channel to the Krillian fleet commander, General Torvan, the same young captain who fought in the last battle, who surrendered, who learned. General Torvan, good to see you, Rodriguez said. Torvan nodded respectfully. Admiral, 20 years ago, I fought against humans. Today I fight beside them. Times have changed. For the better, Rodriguez agreed. Ready to go in? Ready, Admiral. The combined fleet moved forward, entered the danger zone. What they found shocked them. A massive alien fleet surrounded the wreckage of the science vessel. These aliens were different, insect-like, hundreds of ships, all identical, moving like a swarm. Sir, sensors identify them as a Zarati, the tactical officer reported. Unknown species from beyond the rim. Records show they destroy everything they encounter. Take no prisoners. Accept no surrender. Rodriguez studied the enemy fleet. 600 ships against their 100. Bad odds. But those scientists needed help. If any were still alive, all ships, battle formation, Rodriguez ordered. General Torvan, your fleet takes the left flank. We'll take the right. We hit them fast and hard. Understood, Torvan replied, then added, Admiral, it's an honor to fight beside humanity. Rodriguez smiled. The honor is ours, General. The combined fleet charged forward. Human and Krillian ships moving as one. 20 years ago, this would have been impossible. Today, it was natural. The Zarati swarm turned to meet them. Opened fire. Thousands of weapons lighting up space. But the human Krillian fleet was ready. They had trained together, practiced together, learned from each other. Humans taught Krillians their tactics. Krillians taught humans their endurance. The battle was fierce. Ships exploded on both sides. But the combined fleet fought with skill and courage. They covered each other, saved each other, trusted each other. On Rodriguez's bridge, alarms blared. Sir, Zarati ships targeting our engines. We're hit. Before he could respond, 3 Krillian ships moved in front of them, took the hits instead, protecting the human flagship. General Torvan, why did you do that? Rodriguez asked. Torvan's image appeared on screen. His ship was damaged but still fighting. Because that's what allies do, Admiral. We protect each other. 20 years ago, Krillians tried to kill humans. Today, they die protecting them. The battle raged for 3 hours. Finally, the Zarati swarm began to retreat. They had lost too many ships. Didn't expect such fierce resistance. The combined fleet didn't chase them. Their mission was rescue, not revenge. They found the science vessel, badly damaged but intact. The rescue teams boarded it, found survivors. 12 humans, 11 Krillians, 23 lives saved. Back on Earth, Admiral Chen watched the news reports, saw human and Krillian ships fighting together, saving each other. He smiled. This was what he had hoped for, what he had worked for. His granddaughter ran into the room. Grandpa, did you see? Humans and Krillians fought together, just like you said they would. Chen hugged her. Yes, little one. They learned the lesson, the real lesson. What lesson? That yesterday's enemies can become today's friends, and today's friends can become tomorrow's family. Young Marcus and Vexlar watched the same news, saw their people working together, heroes together. When we grow up, Marcus said, I want to be like them, fighting for what's right. Vexlar nodded. Me too, protecting others, human and Krillian together. The 2 boys shook hands. A human and a Krillian, born after the war, growing up in peace, representing the future. On the Krillian homeworld, old Vexlar the first watched the same reports. Tears ran down his aged face. His grandson would never know war with humans, would never make his mistakes, would only know friendship. He walked to his garden. looked at the flower Rax's human friend had given him years ago. He had planted it, cared for it. It grew strong, beautiful, a symbol of peace. His wife joined him. "What are you thinking about?" "About how wrong I was," Vexlar said. "About how right the humans were. About how grateful I am they didn't destroy us when they could have." She took his hand. "They gave us a second chance. We used it well." In space, at the border, the warning beacons still blinked. But now new beacons joined them, placed by the Krillian Empire, with a different message. Human-Krillian Alliance base. All peaceful visitors welcome. Hostile forces will be met with combined strength. You have been warned. 50 years after the Alliance began, something remarkable happened that no one expected. Admiral Marcus Chun, grandson of the legendary Admiral Chun, stood in the Earth Council chamber. Beside him stood Fleet Commander Vexlar III. Both men were now in their 60s. Both had served together for 40 years. "Today," Marcus announced to the gathered leaders, "we propose something historic, a complete merger, not just an alliance, one unified government, the Terran-Krillian Commonwealth." The room erupted in debate. Some loved the idea. Others feared it. Could two species really become one nation? Emperor Rax II, grandson of the young soldier who learned peace, spoke from the Krillian homeworld via hologram. "My grandfather told me stories about the war, about the hatred, about how humans could have destroyed us but chose mercy instead. Today, we're not separate anymore. We haven't been for decades. Let's make it official." The vote took 3 days. Finally, the decision came. Yes, overwhelming yes. Humanity and the Krillian Empire would merge into one commonwealth, equal partners, equal leaders, one future. The ceremony was held on New Unity Station, built exactly at the midpoint between Earth and the Krillian homeworld. Billions watched across both species. Marcus and Vexlar stood together at the podium. Behind them hung 2 flags, the flag of Earth, the flag of the Krillian Empire. As they spoke, the flags slowly merged into one new design, blue and silver mixed together, a star and a moon intertwined. "Today, we are no longer human or Krillian," Marcus said. "Today, we are simply us. One people, one future, one family." Vexlar continued, "Our grandparents fought each other. Our parents befriended each other. We united with each other. And our children will never know the difference." In the crowd, young people cheered. Many were mixed families now. Humans married to Krillians. Children with both heritages. They represented something new, something beautiful. But not everyone was happy. In the shadows of both societies, extremists plotted. Groups that wanted separation, that believed in purity, that hated the merger. A terrorist cell called the Pure Earth Movement planted bombs on Unity Station. Another group, the Krillian Supremacy Front, planned attacks on mixed families. The night before the official merger, the bombs were set to detonate. Thousands would die. The Unity would be destroyed. But something unexpected happened. A young woman named Sarah Chin Vexlar discovered the plot. She was the daughter of a human mother and Krillian father. She worked in station security. She found the first bomb in a maintenance corridor. Her hands shook as she examined it. 10 minutes until detonation. Not enough time to evacuate. She called her partner, a Krillian named Kaz. "I found one. Sector 7. How many more?" "I found 3, Kaz replied. "Sectors 9, 12, and 15. "Sarah, we can't defuse them all in time." Sarah thought fast. "Then we don't defuse them. We move them. The cargo bay is reinforced. If they explode there, the station survives." "That's a one-way trip," Kaz said quietly. "We won't make it out in time." Sarah closed her eyes, thought of her mother, her father, her little brother, her friends, all the people on this station, all the people celebrating unity. "Then we don't make it out," she said. "We save them instead." Kaz was silent for a moment. Then, "I'm with you, always." They worked together. Sarah grabbed 2 bombs. Kaz grabbed the other 2. They ran toward the cargo bay. Their legs burned. Their hearts pounded. 5 minutes left. They reached the cargo bay, threw the bombs inside, sealed the door, ran toward the exit. 3 minutes left. They ran faster than they ever had before. Down corridors, through crowds, people confused by their panic. 2 minutes left. They reached the emergency shelter, started to climb inside. 1 minute left. Sarah looked back, saw a child standing in the corridor, lost, crying. No parents in sight. 30 seconds. She ran back, grabbed the child, threw her toward Kaz. Get her inside. 20 seconds. Kaz caught the child, pushed her into the shelter, reached for Sarah. Come on. Sarah ran toward them. 10 seconds. She dove forward. Kaz grabbed her hand, pulled her toward the shelter. 5 seconds. The door closed. They made it. All of them safe. The bombs exploded. The cargo bay absorbed the blast. The reinforced walls held. The station shook but survived. Not a single person died. Sarah and Kez collapsed on the floor, breathing hard. The child they saved hugged them both. Thank you, she whispered. The next day, the merger ceremony continued, but it began with a special moment. Sarah and Kez stood before the crowd. Marcus and Vexlar pin medals on their chests. You represent everything this Commonwealth stands for, Marcus said. Courage, sacrifice, unity. You are heroes. The crowd stood, cheered, humans and Krillians together, celebrating two people who embodied their shared future. Sarah spoke into the microphone. Her voice was shaky but strong. Yesterday, extremists tried to tear us apart. They failed because we're stronger together. Human and Krillian, partners, family. Nothing can break that bond. Nothing ever will. The applause was deafening. But in a dark corner of space, the extremist leaders watched. The leader of Pure Earth contacted the leader of Krillian supremacy. Our plan failed, the human extremist said. Yes, the Krillian extremist replied. They're too united now, too strong. They both paused. Then the human leader said something unexpected. Maybe we were wrong. The Krillian leader looked at his screen, at the image of Sarah and Kaz. Human and Krillian working together, saving lives together, heroes together. Maybe we were, he agreed. Maybe it's time to let go of the past. Maybe it's time to accept the future. They both disconnected. Both disbanded their groups. Both decided to try something harder than hate. They decided to try acceptance. Years passed. The Commonwealth grew stronger. More species joined, not through conquest, through invitation, through friendship. The Vexori, who had been prisoners with Vexlar I, joined. Then the species the Krillians had conquered. All forgiven, all welcomed, all equal. Admiral Marcus Chun retired at age 70. Fleet Commander Vexlar retired the same day. They had spent their entire careers together. Friends, brothers, leaders. On their final day, they stood at the observation deck of Unity Station, looked out at the stars. We did it, Marcus said. What our grandparents started, we finished. No, Vexlar corrected. What our grandparents started never finishes. Peace isn't a destination. It's a journey. Every generation must choose it, work for it, protect it. Marcus nodded. Wise words. You sound like my grandfather, and you sound like mine. They laughed. Two old men, two old friends, two people who had dedicated their lives to something bigger than themselves. Behind them, young officers trained, human, Krillian, and others, all working together, all learning together, all building the future together. One young officer approached. She was human. Her partner was Krillian. Sirs, permission to ask a question? Granted. Both men said together. Did you ever doubt? Ever worry the merger wouldn't work? Marcus and Vexlar looked at each other, smiled. Every day, Marcus admitted. Change is scary. Unity is hard. But you know what's harder? Living apart. Fighting. Hating. We tried that already. It almost destroyed both our species. Vexlar added, my grandfather ignored a warning. Started a war. But the humans taught him something. Taught all of us. That yesterday's enemies can become today's family. And that family is worth any effort. Any sacrifice. The young officer saluted. Thank you, sirs. We won't let you down.